They say love is temporary, but ink is forever. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I am here to review Season 8, Episode 18 and the finale of the Real Housewives cheating on their cheating husband of Potomac. We start the finale off right where we left off at Ashley and Giselle's questionable fashion show being held together by glue. The cameras had gone down. We hear Oscar the Grouch approach Candace. You're always talking about me online. I'm here now. Say what you have to say. And look, Tickle Me Elmo, I feel like you're forgetting that you came onto the show last season accusing Candace's husband and Wendy's husband of trying to flirt with you, trying to ruin their marriage, and now you're upset. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now you're upset that Candace is calling you names? And now you're approaching her as if she started this issue between both of you? Like, if it wasn't for you coming, first of all, if it wasn't for Ashley bringing you onto the show last season, you being delusional and making up all these lies that were all false, then we wouldn't be here, but we are. So she's approaching her. Candace is telling her, no, I don't really feel like talking to you. Somebody get her away from me. So obviously, Tickle Me Elmo, she didn't like that. She picks up her drink. She throws it at Candace. Candace, she picks up a champagne bottle. Sleepy Charisse, she jumps in. She's like, no, Candace, no, give me that champagne bottle. I'm gonna drink this tonight before I go to sleep. I'm gonna watch an episode of The Golden Girls and then I'm gonna drink this, okay? So after that, next thing you know, we see Kiarna, aka the WWE champion. She mushes, aka slaps, because it looks like a really hard mush. She mushes Deborah, but then Bert and Ernie, she retaliates because she grabs her cup. She throws it in her face, and that was it. Because Kiarna, next thing you know, she's like, this one's for Chris, this one's for Eddie, this one's for Wendy, and this one's for Candace. Next thing you know, the wannabe Giselle in the neon outfit, she grabs Kiarna's hair from the back, she yanks it, so now they all go down to the ground like a domino effect. And the question could be said of why didn't Wendy or Candace jump in for their friend who's getting jumped? And I feel like they're both in a lose-lose situation, honestly, because could you imagine if they would have jumped in, the narrative that Ashley, Robin, and Giselle, and even the audience would have spun together to try to make them look bad? Giselle would have had her security guard from 5 years ago on speed dial like, hey, I don't feel comfortable filming with either one of them. Please come back, eventually icing them off the show. Ashley's already trying to blame Candace for all of this, and just imagine if we would have never saw the leaked footage of the actual fight that said otherwise, people probably would have ran with her narrative like, you know what? Yeah, that's pretty believable. That's pretty on brand with Candace. Candace has a reckless mouth. She probably said something to Deborah that was disrespectful. It caused things to get physical like she did with Monique. Yeah, I can see that happening. It's all her fault, which makes me feel like this was a setup. You know, Ashley, I feel like she was the one that told the producers, are the cameras down? And once they confirmed to her, yeah, they're down, she probably went over to Cookie Monster like, okay, the cameras are down. There's not going to be any evidence. So go over to Candace, start something, okay? She went over to Candace, things got physical. Ashley, now she's looking at this like, okay, there's no footage, there's no evidence. I can spin my own narrative in the confessional and blame all of this on Candace. And of course, everybody's going to believe it because there's no footage. But you didn't expect somebody to be recording the truth and leak it online for us to see, and that's where your plan backfired. So I see what you're doing, Ashley. So after all of this, all types of chaos breaks loose. Kiarna, she gets rushed to the bathroom. She is bleeding out of her forehead. She's keeping it together by pressing a bunch of towels on it. Wendy, she's in there. She's upset. She's like, this is unacceptable. I can't believe what just happened. Karen is walking in slow motion. She's like, give me 1 second. 1 second, Kiarna. I'm making my way over to you. The Grand Dame does not rush for nobody. Give me 1 second. I'm coming. Give me 1 second. We see Candace. She's trying to get to Deborah. Deborah, she's being escorted by the security. Candace, she's being held back by Sleepy Charisse. Sleepy Charisse is sleepy. She's holding on to her like, ooh, Candace, you smell really nice. I need to borrow that perfume. No, hold on. Let's just cuddle for a second. Candace, she's trying to get to Deborah. And I'm like, now, Candace, you know, if Sleepy Charisse wasn't on you, were you really trying to get to Deborah? Because I feel like she probably whispered to Charisse, Charisse, hold me really tightly. I'm not trying to fight. I'm scared. You know, but she's trying to get to her. Meanwhile, Big Bird, she's being escorted by security. She's just like, wait, no, hold on, Candace, because you were just, stop pulling me. Give me 1 second. No, because, hold on. I'm like, Deborah, exit stage left. She's just being yanked out the door. Meanwhile, Ashley kills me with her acting skills. She was like, what? What just happened? What just happened? How did this happen? And I'm like, Ashley, again, we saw in the leaked footage, you were right there, front row, witnessing everything going down. You know, you were just, like I said last week, she was combusting. She reminded me of that Rihanna video where she was like, that was Ashley the entire fight. She didn't know what to do. Ashley runs over to tickle Miyomo and she's like, what happened? She's explaining to her, look, I got into it with Candace. I was trying to secure my champagne flute for next season. Next thing you know, her friend Kiarna hits me. And I mean, technically, she's not lying because Kiarna did hit her first. But if you really want to get technical, it was because of you, Deborah. You threw the drink at her friend Candace. And to me, a drink throw is the same thing as you putting your hands on me. So technically, you started it. So what do you expect? The chaos continues. Kiarna, she is still bleeding. You know, they're all still yelling at each other. Giselle's house is still uneven and very suspicious looking. Juan Dixon didn't show up to another reunion for another season. Eventually, they get Kiarna on an ambulance. Karen, she tells her, hold on, Kiarna, hold on, because I'm coming with you. The grand dame is coming to the hospital with you. I'm coming with you. And let's talk about Karen for a second, because over the weekend, she was involved in a DUI. She was drinking and driving and she hit a tree. And I was reading the report and it was a lie. And I have no sympathy for drunk drivers. So Karen, I'm extremely disappointed in your reckless behavior because you could have easily killed somebody by doing this. You know, and she's not the only recent housewife that did something like this. I believe Shannon is her name from the Real Housewives of OC. I don't watch, but I saw the video of her also drunk driving. She crashed into somebody's apartment or somebody's house. She could have also killed somebody, and I just do not understand. You know, these housewives, they come for money, and I know that Karen has money, so why couldn't you just order yourself an Uber? And then she posted that Mother's Day is coming up soon, so all the feelings of her mother's passing is coming up again. And I get it, Karen. I can only imagine what she's going through because that type of pain stays with her forever. But that is still no excuse for you to put other people's lives in danger because of your reckless behavior. So 2 days later, we finally get to Mia's magazine event. We see Ashley, Karen, Sleepy Charisse, and Giselle. They show up first to discuss exactly what happened that night. Giselle, she just flew in from seeing her dad. He's getting surgery. And, you know, kudos to Giselle for even trying to juggle that situation and trying to be on the show at the same time. I know it's not easy. As for Sleepy Charisse, she has a boot on her foot because apparently the night of the fight, somebody stepped on her, and you see what happens when you're in the way? I can only picture her, you know, she's there in the mix. The producers are probably trying to film the scene of Deborah and Kiarna going at it, and they're like, okay, we're trying to get a good angle. We're trying to get a good angle. Move, Sleepy Charisse, move, damn. And they probably stepped on her by mistake. But, you know, she's doing good, right? But that's her whole personality this episode. Like, she starts off the conversation by, oh, yeah, my foot got injured. Yeah, I like the champagne. My foot got injured. Oh, I love the magazine. My foot got injured. Like, okay, we get it. So then Ashley, apparently she cut off Tickle Me Elmo because now she opens up her eyes, apparently, to her friendship and how she sees that, you know, she's not really the type of person that she wants to be around because the next morning she started going on social media, you know, making up lies or whatever. And I'm like, interesting, Ashley. It's almost like this type of behavior, we witnessed it last season. Giselle says that the fight left a couple of stains on her clothing brand. First of all, Giselle, GNA already had a couple of shit and piss stains prior to the fight, so let's not blame that. Next thing you know, I hear somebody in the background and they're like, yeah, if Candace is gonna say all of that to Deborah, she needs to be ready for what's coming. And I'm like, who is that talking? And then I look over to my right. I know it's not Cal, Giselle's assistant, putting his 2 cents in a conversation he has no part of. Was he even there to begin with? Were you there when the whole fight happened? And now all of a sudden, you know, he's in the intro, he has a tagline and everything. Like, Cal, come over here. Come over here for a second. Come over here. Let me see your hands. Let me see the right one. Okay. Let me see the left one. Just as I thought. No champagne flute. So you're not a housewife. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Skirt! Like, Cal, you cannot be serious. Like, all of a sudden, he had this whole history paper, this whole Venn diagram. He had a thesis paper explaining, oh, how Candace is wrong, Candace is this, Candace is that. And I'm like, were you even there, though? You know, it's just so... How much is she paying you? Giselle, how much is she paying you? She probably tripled his salary that week. That is crazy. Although I do agree with what he said, how, you know, in an argument with people, you know, you can't expect the other person to just use words as well. You never know somebody's temper. You never know how somebody reacts to certain things in an argument. And whether it's in the real world or on TV, we've seen it many times before that things get physical after a couple of words. That's why I wasn't upset with Candace picking up the bottle, because at least this time, you know, if somebody's coming at her, she's prepared. She's ready to defend herself because she could back up what she's actually saying. So, you know, that's that. Next thing you know, we see a nice pair of legs coming down the stairs. And I'm like, you know, is that me? Did they film me without my permission? You know, because next thing you know, we see Robin. But, you know, okay, she looks pretty, right? I thought it was me, but she comes down. She looks really nice. Aneka, she gets there. Aneka looks so beautiful. So does Wendy. She looks really pretty. And then we see Candace and her sister, Crystal. Crystal, she approaches Ashley. You know, Ashley was shaking in her empty bank account. She was like, hi Candace's sister. I'm a big fan of you. How are you? What's going on? I streamed Drive Back 100 times today. What's going on? She's like, you know, I really don't like that your friend Tickle Me Elmo, how she approached my sister like this. I'm not gonna allow my sister to constantly get attacked over and over again like this without me having to say anything. I wish she would have went over to approach Giselle, but, you know, we'll deal with Ashley for now. Then we see everyone's magazine cover. Giselle, she was Beyonce, and... I mean, when it's right, it's right. And she looks really good. I love the choreography that she added into the video. You know, I was waiting for her to do her own version of, you know, all my tacky ladies, all my tacky ladies, all my tacky ladies. Now put your hands up. But she looks really good. Karen, I also liked her cover. Wendy, I also loved hers. Candace... As for Robin, you know, at first, you know, when I saw that she was going to do the Queen, she was going to do Mariah Carey, I was just kind of like, oh, but, you know, after looking at the magazine cover, you know, I mean, you know, after like maybe 2 tequila shots, and if you close one of your eyes and if you keep looking at it like this, you know, then you kind of see the vision. You kind of see Mariah Carey. I kind of see it. Kind of. And speaking of Robin, as most of you know, I've been keeping track of how many episodes Juan has been a part of this season. Let me get my chart. And so far, at the beginning of the season, he was doing a decent job. Somewhere in the middle, it got rocky. And then last week, surprisingly, he made us all proud by showing up again for Robin and, you know, just to let us down this week. You know, I already saw the sneak peek. I'm pretty sure we all saw the sneak peek to the reunion, and surprise, I don't think that he's there. So should I just do him now? Oh, not like that. Should I do him on the chart now, or should I just wait? You know, because I mean, you never know. They might edit him in somehow. You know, they might put an AI version of Juan Dixon while we're watching the show. Who knows? But as for Mia's cover, all I saw was Mia. But she looks good though. So eventually they all get together. Karen, she breaks the ice. She tells them, so everyone, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. This big fight that happened between Kiarna and Tickle Me Elmo. Obviously that's going to have a big impact on this group of women as we move forward as friends. And we need to fix this. Ashley, for the 100th time, she goes on to pretend to be clueless. And she's like, you know, I had no idea that Deborah was going to do this at the event. And for that, I'm truly sorry. But what did she do in the confessional? She blamed the whole entire situation on Candace. She was like, you know, the things that she was saying about Deborah, calling her a roach, calling her the help. Although I do agree in that aspect that I personally don't like the terms that Candace uses sometimes in arguments. But, you know, again, you're making it seem as if she's just calling her this out of the blue for no reason. Like, you know, again, Ashley, you're forgetting that you're the one that brought Tickle over on season 7 to try to cause some type of mess between the husbands of Wendy and Candace. And now all of a sudden, it's kind of like just going over your head and you're not remembering any of that. Now, all of a sudden, it's just Candace just picking on Deborah for no reason. Like, how quickly we forget. Mia and Gordon come out and they're giving each other nice speeches about their love, their marriage, their relationship. And all of that quickly changes just like that, because then we see 3 months later, and I love a good flash forward on the Real Housewives because you already know some mess is coming, right? The announcement of their divorce. Now we see them in the kitchen. Neither one of them are speaking to each other. There's so much tension. Gordon, he's obviously pissed at something. He keeps walking back and forth. Mia, she breaks the ice and she's like, Gordon, when are you going back to Charlotte? How long do I have to sleep in Juju's room? And Mia, I know that he does not have you sleeping in your children's room. Where is he sleeping at? So he went out to TMZ to blast Mia by saying that she's a gold digger, she was cheating on him, she's this, that, and the third. And in the confessional, they asked Mia, what do you think was his last straw for him to do that? She says that it was the clip that he saw in the season 8 trailer for this season, where it was her and Ashley, in an argument on their cast trip. And Ashley asked her, did you marry him for money? And she was like, I might have. And he got pissed at that. He was not happy about that. So he went to TMZ. When being honest gets you in this predicament, right? So then Gordon back in the kitchen, he proceeds to just chew up Mia. He tells Mia, this is what you wanted, right? This is what you asked of me, so I'm just giving you what you want. Besides, you're the one that's been having an affair on me for 10 years, even prior to our wedding. So wait a minute. If my calculations are correct, hold on. So carry the 3 divided by 2, add the 1, add 2 mistresses. So wait a minute. Juan is not the only cheater on the cast? That is crazy. Meanwhile, we were dragging him all last season and the first couple of episodes this season. Come to find out, we have another cheater on the cast as well. Mia? At least Mia does it more iconically, right? Juan just... But I'm like, wow, 10 years. And, he just continues. You've been with so-and-so, because then we find out that his name is, what's his name? Pen or pencil, lead, glue, marker, paint, ink. His name is Ink. Him and Mia have known each other for a long time, even prior to Gordon. But Gordon and Mia had an agreement in their marriage that when Gordon was going through something medically, he couldn't really do much physically. So he told Mia, I'm going to give you a pass. You could be with somebody of your choosing, but me and you are still going to be together. Absolutely the fuck not. But if it works for them, it works for them. But for Rafael, this is as good as it gets. It doesn't get any better. And if anything, the movie that Candy and Todd made, The Pass, I don't know, I feel like there could be a sequel with Gordon, Mia, and Ink. I don't know, Candy and Todd, if you're watching, call me, we could direct. So then he tells her, you even told me when you were pregnant that you were still sleeping with him, so he might have a chance of being the father of our child. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I'm over here still trying to process this whole 10-year affair thing that he was just talking about. And now you're throwing this out. And it's not fair to their child, because eventually they're going to have to grow up and watch this footage possibly and have questions like, wait a minute, who's my father? Gordon or Ink? And then they ask Mia, did you ever take a paternity test? And she's just like, no, nobody ever asked. And I'm like, can we take one at the reunion, please? I'm very curious to see, what's about to come out of this whole situation. Imagine if Gordon was not the actual biological father and it was Ink. This whole thing is but then it gets crazier, because then he continues and he's like, the only reason I find out that you were sleeping with him behind my back, even though they had an agreement, is that, she was bringing the children around Ink. And Mia, that's where you fucked up. You're not supposed to bring anybody that let alone your kids, to the person that you're cheating with behind your husband's back. At least cheat respectfully. Come on, Mia, it's hoeing 101. Now you have the kids going back home oh, daddy, mommy's over there at Mr. Ink's house. That just sounds crazy. It sounds toxic. Come on now, Mia, I'm rooting for you and Mr. Ink to be a thing on the show in the future. Leave Gordon in the past, but you're doing stuff like this. Come on now. And Gordon, I can only imagine, he probably walked in on them and he caught them what the hell is going on between the sheets in my home? Baby, wait, let me explain before you start to turn your cane. Low down, dirty woman. That is just crazy. This is way too much. I'm like, wow. And then she's like, Gordon, that's not fair. Well, if you want a fair, go to a circus. I can't. This finale, I need to go to sleep. Like this was crazy. And Mia, she had nothing to say. She did say though that he took her phone and he locked her in a room for 2 hours. And his excuse was, oh, well, you needed some rest. Okay, Gordon. Again, like I said last week, I feel no sympathy for Gordon because now he's accusing Mia of being a cheater when you cheated on your first wife with Mia, and now you're mad that she's doing the same thing. Like, what's the quote that Alicia Keys invented? I mean, that somebody invented. The way you get them is the way you leave them, or something like that. And now look. I wish that this would have been the first episode this season, or at least the second that the news came out. They should have just scrapped all the footage that they already filmed, thrown that in the garbage, and refilmed everything from this point moving forward. But, and if anything, Gordon, I don't know. I feel like I want him to have a champagne flute for next season and have a tagline and an intro and everything, because I feel like he's kind of up there with the same status as Peter Center Peach Thomas. So, I don't know, I'm kind of here for it, but we shall see how this whole thing turns out. It's going to be a huge mess, and we shall see how the reunion plays out next week, starting next week, actually. So I will see you then. Let me know what you all thought about this whole entire episode, this whole entire finale in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah.